Hello? Hello, students. Am I audible, ma'am?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Am I audible? Is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
board clear?
Yes, ma'am. Loud, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry for the delay. After Sunday, Monday is take some time to come to the normal state. Let us wait for 2 more minutes. Let others also to join.
Yes, ma'am.
Two more minutes we shall wait. Participants 9 are there. I have to start with, we have done reactivity with hydrogen. Am I correct? I have to start with reactivity with oxygen. Ma'am, any one of you respond me? I stopped in the last class with reactivity with hydrogen. Am I right? You can unmute yourself, ma'am. You can unmute yourself and tell.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to start with reactivity with oxygen. Am I
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Is the audio clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Going ahead with the class. Now I have to start with reactivity with oxygen. Reactivity with oxygen. Already we have seen that in this 15th group, the common oxidation states are +3 and +5. This is the common. But some of the elements shows other than these two oxidation states, some of the elements shows other oxidation states too. But the common are +3 and +5. If 15th group, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. If these elements combine with oxygen, they can form nitrogen, leaving this nitrogen, I'm talking about P. Phosphorus first, P2O3, P2O5, and arsenic, not sorry, AS. Arsenic, similarly it forms. Likewise, it forms 3 oxide and +3 oxide and +5 oxide is possible. But when I talk about nitrogen, nitrogen shows that as we have already seen that first element of each group shows some anomalous behavior. Nitrogen shows oxides of various nitrogen of various oxides are there. For example, various oxidation states: NO, N2O, NO2, N2O3, N2O5. These are the variable oxidation states of nitrogen oxides of nitrogen. But if I take the oxidation state, here is +2, here is take as +1, here is +4, here it is +3, here it is +4. It shows the oxidation states from +2 to +1 to +2. But here other elements shows only +3 and +5 oxidation state. That is, in general, I can say it forms M2O3 and M2O5. These are the possible oxides of these group metals. But already we have seen that the higher oxidation states are more acidic and the lower oxidation states are less acidic. The question will be asked, more acidic because higher oxidation state, greater tendency to accept the electron. Here, less oxidation states, tendency to accept the electron is lesser compared to here. So only this is said to be more acidic, this is said to be less acidic. Or I can say that this is more covalent, this is little ionic. The question will be asked this way only. Next step, if I talk about the oxides of nitrogen, how they are, if I talk about the acidity nature, oxides of nitrogen and phosphorus are purely acidic in nature. Oxides of arsenic and antimony are amphoteric. Arsenic and antimony are amphoteric, where bismuth is metallic oxide, so it is basic in nature. Non-metals, these are two non-metals. These are metalloids. This is metal. So non-metals, acidic oxides, metalloids, amphoteric oxides, bismuth, metallic oxides. That's all recording oxides. Next, when I talk about halogen, similarly, these react with halogen to form the corresponding halides of +3 and +5. Phosphorus, if I say PCl3 is PCl5 is there. And arsenic AaCl3 is there, AaCl5 is there. But you know that the oxidation, the stability of +5 oxidation state decreases. Here, stability of +5 oxidation state decreases and stability of lower oxidation state increases due to inert pair effect. And the other question is stability of this is said to be more acidic than this. Already we have discussed. Other than these normal questions, there are possibility of it. When I am talking about this group, I was talking about only from phosphorus. I'm not talking about for nitrogen. Why? There is the another, when I talk about the halogen, reactivity of halogen is this order. This order. Because fluorine is more electronegative, the reaction of compound with fluorine is very, very stable and faster compared to any other compound. And we have NF3 is stable. The question is often asked, right? NF3 is stable, whereas NCl3 is not stable. Here we are talking about, when we talk about from phosphorus, when I talk about PCl3 and PCl5, PCl5 is more stable. PCl5 is more stable. And when I talk about PF3 and PCl3, PF3 is more stable compared to that of PCl3. The similarity, NF3 is stable compared to that of NCl3. Why? Because the answer is, this is often asked question, but statement is there in your book as NF3 is stable. That is only statement is given in your text. The often there is a question being asked is NF3 is stable, whereas NF3 is PL3 is not stable. Or the same thing question can be asked in different way. NF3 is exothermic, whereas NCl3 is endothermic. Either way it can be asked. Reason is, if nitrogen has to react with fluorine to form only NF3, fluorine, similarly, nitrogen has to react with chlorine to form NCl3. But fluorine, bond dissociation enthalpy of fluorine is lesser. That you have already studied because of the presence of lone pair. Here also lone pair is there. Fluorine being more electronegative, the bond formed between fluorine is smaller. Interelectronic repulsion is higher. Here interelectronic repulsion is lesser. Bond dissociation enthalpy is lesser. Bond dissociation enthalpy is higher. Fluorine being small size, more electronegative, the FF bond is smaller. Due to the presence of lone pair of electrons, interelectronic repulsion is higher. So bond dissociation enthalpy is lesser. Chlorine being larger in size, less electronegative, the bond is longer. Interelectronic repulsion is lesser, bond dissociation is higher.
Ma'am, one doubt. Ma'am, if interelectronic repulsions and bond enthalpies for fluorine is less, then how come NF3 is stable, ma'am?
That's what I'm trying to say. Is low bond dissociation enthalpy. So the energy what I'm giving you is ready to break this bond. So NF bond becomes stronger. I need only less energy to break. So a fluorine reacts very strongly with nitrogen to form the compound. Here itself I am giving more of energy to break the bond. So more energy is needed for the reaction to occur. When the molecule become more and more, when the reactions become more and more endothermic, the reaction become unstable. Del H as thermodynamics, as according to thermodynamics, del H should be negative for the reaction to proceed to stability. Del H is positive means what we say that the system itself is having higher energy, then it is unstable. Every system wants to have lower energy. Lower energy is to be stable. Here I use only less energy. Here I use more energy. Then what happened? This NF bond becomes stronger. Like again, fluorine is more electronegative. Nitrogen is lesser. The bond formed is stronger. More amount of energy is given out. So it is highly. Here also I need less energy. Here also the bond becomes very stronger. More amount of energy is given out. So the molecule possesses less energy and it's said to be highly stable. Got it? Who asked the
Yes,
doubt?
ma'am.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am,
Let's
clear.
talk about chlorine. The bond dissociation enthalpy is higher. I have to apply more energy to break the bond. NCl bond, when I compare, Cl is bigger in size, N is very smaller, bond becomes not that much stronger. To attain its strength, I have to apply energy. So the energy involved in the formation of NCl3 is higher. When I see that energy involved in NF3 is lesser. So this is more stable and this is less stable. That's the reason. So what you'll write there is write the answer. Fluorine, smaller in size, more electronegative, low bond dissociation enthalpy, whereas the chlorine requires high bond dissociation enthalpy. Therefore, NF bond becomes more stronger, more energy is given out. So the molecule is more stable, and since energy is given out, we call this as isothermic. Mostly, you might have seen first, according to thermodynamics, stability, spontaneity of the reaction was decided only by del H. Later, they have found out that some of the reaction which has del H is equal to positive, that also is said to be spontaneous. Then only they concluded that del H alone cannot determine the spontaneity. Then we took into del S also. But del H plays a vital role. If we see the spontaneity of the most of spontaneity of the chemical reaction, del H will be negative. Stability of the molecule is more because of minus del H. Shall I pass on to the next one? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Next question. PCl5 is possible. PCl5 is possible, whereas NCl5 is not possible because absence of the orbital. The maximum coordination number for that, the maximum coordination, the maximum number of bond nitrogen form is only 4. Beyond 4, it cannot form because of absence of the orbital. Why in PCl3 we see that the electrons get excited to the d orbital. So only this hybridization we talked about sp3. This is not possible because of absence of d orbital. This is the question often asked. Next, reactivity towards metals. These metals react with the corresponding metals to form metals or non-metals to form their corresponding oxides. For example, that generally you will know this is a list of calcium phosphide, calcium nitride. These are some of the that is here it reacts with the metal. This is non-metal. Metal reacts with the non-metal to form their corresponding compound. Pa3, P2 that you study in phosphine, but now phosphine is being deleted. So you need not worry about. This is called as calcium phosphide. This is called as calcium nitride. So they react with metal to form their corresponding compounds. Next, when I talk about the example question, though nitrogen exhibits +5 oxidation state, it does not form pentahalide. Why it doesn't form pentahalide? +5 oxidation state is possible, but it doesn't form pentahalide due to the absence of d orbital. Because its electronic configuration is ns2 np3. அப்ப எனக்கு 5 bonds I need means I need 5 orbitals to make available. If I want to have 5 orbitals means 5 orbitals having single electron should be available. This is the electronic configuration. So I have to shift the electron. Then only is possible. Otherwise, it's not possible to have 5 bonds. Therefore, absence of the orbital. So hence, nitrogen doesn't show pentahalides. PS3 has lower boiling point. This I already discussed. PS3 has a low boiling point, whereas NS3 has a higher boiling point. Low hydrogen bonding, presence of hydrogen bonding. Because of presence of hydrogen bonding, ammonia has high boiling point. PS3 less boiling point. But according to the mass, you expected this should have higher boiling point. But already I told and study the order too. Order means how it comes. PiH3 will come higher. Next, arsenic hydride will come. Next, ammonia, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and arsenic, and ammonia, antimony, bismuth. This will, yes, according to the boiling point, bismuth, antimony, yes, bismuth, antimony, ammonia, then arsenic. Next, you get PSP. This is the order. See that don't expect this order. This is ammonia comes over here. Keep in mind. Next, why are pentahalides more covalent than trihalides? That we have already number of times we have discussed. Leave it. Why is BH3 the strongest reducing agent among the hydrates of the group? Why? BIH3 is the strongest. Why? Bismuth is bigger in size. Hydrogen is very smaller. The bond formed is weaker. Low bond dissociation enthalpy. Because of low bond dissociation enthalpy, hydrogen can be easily removed. It acts as a remote reducing agent. Whereas ammonia is not a reducing agent because ammonia involves in hydrogen body. Breaking of this molecule is very difficult, high bond dissociation enthalpy. So ammonia cannot act as a reducing agent. Low bond dissociation enthalpy of BiH3 makes the molecule to act as a very good reducing agent. Next, that's all regarding general properties of cooking group. Next is we have to study about the compounds of nitrogen. First, nitrogen. Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat that last question that you said?
BiH3 acting as a very good reducing agent. You might be the question we have discussed in hydrides, reactivity of metal with hydrides. When I move down the group, NS3, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. When I talk about this way, size of the element becomes bigger in size, BH becomes bigger, H is very smaller. That we have already seen in the molecular orbital theory. What is the orbitals of similar size and similar energy will overlap maximum and the bond formed is stronger. If I talk about bismuth is orbital is bigger in size, hydrogen is one s orbital, overlap will not be that much effective, the bond formed is weaker. Because of the decarbon, bond dissociation enthalpy is lesser, so hydrogen can be easily removed. So hydrogen remove this hydrogen, removal of hydrogen reacts with other elements, so it acts as a very good reducing agent. What is reducing agent? Provides hydrogen for the reaction to occur. That is called as a reducing agent. So this hydrogen can be easily removed because of low bond dissociation enthalpy, and it acts as a very good reducing agent. This doesn't act as a very good reducing agent. Very good, very simple. Ammonia is involved in hydrogen bonding. To break the hydrogen bonding, I need more energy. So it doesn't act as a reducing agent. Reducing property increases down the group. Why? The element size becomes larger, hydrogen becomes smaller, overlap becomes weaker, low bond dissociation enthalpy. So hydrogen can be easily removed. So this molecule provides hydrogen very easily, so that they act as a very good reducing agent. And among this, BiH3 is the best reducing agent because of low bond dissociation enthalpy. Next, preparation of nitrogen. How nitrogen is being prepared? We can prepare in the laboratory from ammonium chloride. When ammonium chloride is treated with sodium nitrite, NO2, sodium nitrite, then you get NaCl plus H2O plus N2. Ammonium chloride on treatment with sodium nitrite, you get sodium chloride plus water. The hydrogen has to remove hydrogen gas. Next, balancing and all your duty. Simple balancing I won't do. Difficult balancing I will teach you. Next, on heating ammonium dichromate. Ammonium, NHO, ammonium. Dichromate, Cr2O. Ammonium valence is 1. This is 2. So crisscross. So the formula is ammonium dichromate. On heating. Any dichromate salt on heating, mostly you get chromium, Cr2O3, you will get it. Chromium oxide will be the one of the products, nitrogen plus H2O. This is often asked question too. Preparation of nitrogen. Third, acid is N3 minus is acid. N3 minus is called as acide. Either, that is by heating acide also I get nitrogen. How? Barium acide. Barium is +2. Barium acide. Therefore, what happens? This will become, on heating, decomposition takes place. You get barium plus nitrogen. You have at the back, there is one more acide also at the back, index question being asked. Sodium acide. Sodium, Na plus. Acide, this is acide group. N3 minus is acide. This is minus plus, so the molecular formula is Na, This is also undergoes decomposition reaction on heating to produce sodium plus nitrogen. These are the ways you can prepare nitrogen. One laboratory preparation of nitrogen can be obtained by heating ammonium chloride plus sodium nitrate. Ammonium chloride and sodium nitrate are the common reagents that is easily available in the laboratory. By heating, you get N2 plus H2O plus sodium chloride. Next, by heating ammonium dichromate. Any dichromate is heated. Any salt of dichromate on heated or on treatment with an acid, you will get Cr2O3 will be one of the products. If it is any acid, this will react with acid to form chromium sulfate, or depending upon the anion of the acid you will get. Here just heating, so you will get Cr2O3, then N2 plus H2. This is we call as acide. Acide is N3 minus is acide. Barium acide on heating decomposition to form Ba plus N2. Sodium acide, sodium plus nitrogen. This is also can be obtained. These are the ways we can prepare nitrogen. When I talk about the properties, nitrogen is a colorless, odorless gas. It always exists as N2. Because of why it always exists as N2? Because of the ability to form p5p5 bond. So it exists as N triple bond N. Because of the presence of triple bond, the bond dissociation enthalpy of nitrogen is very, very higher. So only nitrogen is acting as is very, very inert. This nitrogen you are using as to produce an inert atmosphere in the extraction of iron. We use nitrogen because iron is extracted by blast furnace. Yeah, large amount of energy is required. There is a blast furnace will be a long tunnel-like structure it will have. Temperature required is of the tunnel is required is different levels, and there is a possibility of getting fire accidents because to avoid that area alone they fill with nitrogen to produce an inert atmosphere. Why it is inert? Because nitrogen is forms a triple bond dissociation enthalpy is very, very higher. Very good example I can say your air contains 72% of nitrogen and 21%, 78% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen, but still they do not react. Why? Because of high bond dissociation enthalpy of nitrogen. They react only there is a thunderstorm. Thunderstorm produce large amount of energy. That energy breaks them to make them to break it. During thunderstorms only these two react. Otherwise there is no reaction of nitrogen. There is no reaction between nitrogen and oxygen because of inertness. Why it is inert? Because it forms triple bond. Because of high bond dissociation enthalpy, nitrogen is said to be inert. But it is made to react. Mostly nitrogen doesn't react with any of the elements, but it's made to react with at a higher temperature with some of the elements. That is magnesium. This you might have studied. Magnesium reacts with nitrogen. Last year, S block you might have studied. Magnesium reacts with nitrogen to form magnesium nitride. Magnesium nitride. Nitrogen balance is 2. Magnesium is 2. Nitrogen is 3 plus. Magnesium nitride. Lithium, lithium is having a diagonal relationship with magnesium. Magnesium reacts with lithium also will react. Lithium plus nitrogen to form lithium nitride. Nitride, this is 3, this is 1, so this plus. Balancing is your duty. Next, if I talk about the next properties of nitrogen, nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to form ammonia by process called Haber process. The reaction doesn't occur on its own. It requires 700 Kelvin temperature, and it is Al2O3. These are the some of the compounds which makes the reaction to take place at a faster rate. They are acting as a catalyst, and an atmosphere of 200 atmosphere is required for the reaction to occur. These are the conditions for Haber's reaction. Nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to form ammonia at temperature of about 700 Kelvin, 200 atmosphere, in the presence of potassium oxide and aluminum oxide. These are acting as a catalyst for the reaction to occur. If you take, if you take your old book, it will tell iron. Iron also acts as a catalyst. But now we have replaced iron with potassium oxide and aluminum oxide. Next, nitrogen reacts with oxygen. We know that nitrogen reacts with oxygen to form oxides. This is nitric oxide it forms. But it forms, depending upon the amount of oxygen provided, it forms different oxides. Uses, you learn it. These are simple uses, you can learn it. Write the reaction of thermal decomposition of sodium acid. Just now I told sodium acid. Yeah, decomposes to form sodium plus nitrogen. Why is nitrogen is less reactive at room temperature? Because of nitrogen exits as N triple bond N. I needs high bond dissociation enthalpy to break the bond. So nitrogen is said to be less reactive. Or it is inert at room temperature, I can say. It is inert at room temperature, but it can react at a very high temperature. Next is compounds of nitrogen, nothing but ammonia. How this ammonia is being prepared? Ammonia is a colorless gas, and it has a pungent odor. Once you open the ammonium hydroxide bottle, immediately you can see the smell because ammonia easily escapes out. You can see that, you can smell it. It has a pungent, irritating smell also. Pungent itself is irritating, but yeah, once you inhale it, you will inhale it, but you get irritation, and your eyes also get irritated. That is a drawback of ammonia. How it is prepared? It is all ammonia is nothing from urea, from ammonium carbonate. Ammonium carbonate. This ammonium carbonate is a very, there is in salt analysis, this will be given. Ammonium carbonate will be a very solid. Once you open the bottle and if you take the ammonium carbonate in the china dish or petri dish, if you keep it, the smell comes a lot. We say that in all ammonium salts, you will smell ammonia. Ammonia smell will come because ammonium is under pressure only it is there. Understand that? Ammonia is stable only in 3 bond. It forms a coordinate bond. So easily you can remove ammonia from the ammonium salts. But removal of ammonia from ammonium salt is not that much easy from all ammonium salts. Ammonium carbonate gives off ammonia very easily. From ammonium chloride, you cannot feel the smell. You have to, even if you bring it very, it will like a sugar crystals, it will be there, ammonium chloride. Even if you bring it near to your nose, you cannot smell the ammonia. But ammonium carbonate, even if it's in the next table, you can feel smell that much easily. You can feel the smell of ammonium carbonate. So just by heating itself, you get ammonia. Just by heating itself, you can get ammonia because easily decomposes to give ammonia. But ammonium chloride, and then even if you bring it near to your nose, you cannot smell the ammonia. Very difficult. Because the reaction, the bond formed is very stronger, so it's not ready to give ammonia. In that case, I have to heat some other chemical to bring out this ammonia. Next step. When I talk about ammonium chloride, I'm treating it so calcium hydroxide. Because ammonium chloride told, we cannot feel the smell. The smell is not being seen. Because chemical reaction takes place, it reduces the quality of ammonia. So it is made to react with some other reagent like calcium hydroxide, like a base. What happened? Calcium chloride will form, plus ammonia, plus water. Ammonium sulfate, similarly, ammonium sulfate on treatment with sodium hydroxide gives sodium sulfate plus ammonia plus water. If I talk about here, this is the way your book gives. It doesn't mean that you have to use only calcium oxide. You can use sodium also. You can use sodium. Can I use sodium? Sodium chloride plus ammonia plus water. That's right. I am trying to remove this anion by using a very reactive metal. The reactive calcium and sodium are very reactive metals. First group metals and second group metals are more reactive. Corresponding bases I am trying to take and remove. It's not essential. It is not required that only you have to use calcium hydroxide. I can use sodium hydroxide. I'm giving it just if you forget also, don't worry about, you can use any base. It must be a first group metal or a second group metal. Why? To remove this anion. How can I remove this anion? Using a strong reactive method. I remove it so that you take the ammonia. Shall I pass on? I'm going off. I'm rubbing off. And the flow chart of the preparation of ammonia is not there, so you will not worry about it. Next is the flow chart of preparation of ammonia has been given. There is a cadet process. That is not being in the CBSE. You can leave it. They just ask the preparation, chemical reaction of ammonia. That's the only way possible. When I talk about the chemical properties, ammonia has a lone pair, so it acts as a very good Lewis base. When it reacts with water, it forms ammonium hydroxide. It is a very weak base and it plays a very important role in salt analysis. If you have done your salt analysis, basic radical, in the third group, what are the metals you will find it out? In the third group, you will identify aluminium and iron. Yes. Iron means there is ferrous, not ferrous. You won't, in the basic analysis, you cannot find a ferrous. You will find a only ferric. And then Al3+. Third group is ferric and aluminium. Aluminium is obtained as a gelatinous white precipitate. Iron is obtained as a ferric will obtained as a brown precipitate. If you see about the reagent you will add, the reagent you are adding is ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide. We are using ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide. Actually, which will react? Ammonium chloride, you might be doing, that is, you might have studied last year. What is the role of? This is the question asked in Viva. This is the thing. Why? This is ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide, both you are adding. But aluminium gets precipitated only as aluminium hydroxide, not as aluminium chloride. Why? That is, you might have studied in the equilibrium chapter, common ion effect. So that this is precipitated as aluminium hydroxide. That I can say that aluminium, whatever the aluminium salt you take, no problem. If, for example, I'm taking aluminium chloride, reacts with ammonium hydroxide to form AlOH thrice plus ammonium chloride. Aluminium hydroxide is obtained as a white precipitate, gelatinous white precipitate. Then I'm taking ferric salt. Let me ferric salt, I'm taking FeCl3. It may be of any ferric salt, just for example, I'm taking plus ammonium hydroxide. This ferric hydroxide is obtained plus ammonium chloride. This ferric hydroxide is obtained as a brown precipitate. Instead of chloride, if I take ferric sulfate, FeCl2, Fe2SO4 thrice, then the salt will be of ammonium sulfate. The one anion only varies. That is not a problem. Shall I pass on? Balancing is your duty. Now, if you are taking fourth group, if I take fourth group, what are the metals you identify? Zinc, mainly I am talking about zinc only. Zinc, for what are the reagents you add for ammonium chloride? For the fourth group. For the fourth group, to identify zinc, you will add ammonium chloride, then ammonium hydroxide, and you plus H2S. But here, zinc will obtain as a dirty white precipitate, you might have learned. Dirty white precipitate. How? Zinc, I am taking any zinc chloride I am taking, no problem. Any zinc chloride, zinc sulfate, whatever may be that one. But actually what it reacts, first is reacts with ammonium hydroxide to form zinc hydroxide plus ammonium chloride. This is obtained as a white precipitate. To this white precipitate, when you pass H2S, this H2S gas gets absorbed on this white precipitate and make it appear to be dirty. Only on passing, but actually first when after adding ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide, first zinc gets precipitated as zinc hydroxide. This zinc hydroxide is white in color. After you pass H2S, this H2S gas absorbed on this white precipitate, make it to appear dirty. So this ammonium hydroxide plays a very important role in identifying third group and fourth group metal atoms. Shall I pass on? I'm rubbing off. Next, when I talk about conformity of copper, if you have seen, that is two conformity is there. Either you people add potassium ferrocyanide, you will add for copper to get a chocolate brown precipitate, you will get here. Or there is one more test is there for conformity, you add ammonium hydroxide. To the copper salt, when you add ammonium hydroxide, you get a blue precipitate, you will get it. The blue color precipitate is nothing but copper hydroxide is being precipitated. Copper hydroxide is being precipitated. That is likely bluish and white, blue color and white color, bluish white precipitate will be okay. When you add excess of ammonium hydroxide, the blue precipitate will dissolve and forms a deep blue coloration. Deep blue color solution is formed. Precipitate will not be. When I add to the copper, when I add ammonium hydroxide, initially I will get a precipitate, blue color precipitate. White color also will be involved. A copper sulfate is, you know, the copper sulfate blue in color, light blue color, that blue color, you know. When I add ammonium hydroxide, a white color also will be mixed up so that there will be a dull blue color, and it is obtained in the form of a precipitate. But if you add in our observation itself, will be there. This ammonium hydroxide is added in excess. The blue precipitate dissolves in ammonium hydroxide to form a deep blue colored solution. It is in the solution. Precipitate dissolves solution. One thing I will tell you, if this is a D block elements, we have already studied D block. D block elements, all D block elements, most of the D block elements are colorful. They are colored solution they form because they form a D block elements, they form a solution is because of the complex formation. It forms a complex salt. CuNS3 4 2 plus. Complex salt. This is the complex salt is being formed. Ma'am, what is this? You can say that this is actually this anion, whatever may be the anion, you forget it. We are writing in the ionic form. This is the reason. This complex is the reason for the formation of deep blue colored solution. This we call it as that again. When we talk about coordination compounds, you will study IUPAC, there I will teach you. This is called as 4 are there, so we call as tetra. This ammonia in coordination compound, you call it as amine, AMMINE. You should be very careful. In organic NH2, we call that as amine, NH, only one F. But in a coordination compound, ammonia is called as amine, but amine has 2 M. Then copper, 2 ion. This I will teach you later, don't worry. Next, this is one. Another one is there. When silver chloride is treated with, you get silver nitrate. You identify chloride by adding silver nitrate, chloride salt. By add chloride salt on treatment with silver nitrate, you get silver chloride, you get a white precipitate. Is the observation gets stopped over here? No, you will further observe it. This precipitate dissolves in ammonium hydroxide. Then only it is chloride. Why we are doing this reaction with ammonium hydroxide is very, very essential over here. Why? Because there may be some carbonate will be present over there. Ma'am, do we call it amine? Sachin, what do you mean? You unmute and ask me. No problem. Do we call it amine? What do you mean by that? I couldn't know. Sachin, unmute and ask me.
Why are we calling it as AMMIN?
Amine, why I call you as Sachin? Why they call it? The same thing. But they have called this as coordination compounds. In coordination compounds, there are some IUPAC have followed some rules to name the compound. So it is being given. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
This is ammonia is called as amine. To distinguish, this is amine in organic. Don't confuse with this. Here in the coordination compounds alone, to name it, we call it as amine. Then silver nitrate reacts with chloride to form silver chloride. Then you cannot stop the identification of silver chloride here itself. There is an observatory, you will add ammonium hydroxide. Why? Because there is a possibility of having carbonate too. If carbonate is there, silver carbonate is obtained, that is also obtained as a white precipitate. Silver carbonate will not dissolve in ammonium hydroxide. So distinguish the two only we are specifically having ammonium hydroxide. That's a must. You might have seen silver chloride, white precipitate is formed, which is soluble in ammonium hydroxide. Silver bromide means sparingly soluble in ammonium hydroxide. Silver iodide means insoluble in ammonium hydroxide. That you would have seen. That's similar. Why? Why is silver chloride is soluble? It reacts with ammonium hydroxide. It's a D block element. D block element soluble means complex formation. AgNS3 twice plus. Here we call it as diamine silver 1 ion. Because of the formation of this complex, this precipitate AgCl, which is obtained as a white precipitate, get dissolved. This is highly useful for your viva and also for your this is for CBSE too. Why means they mostly ask important. I will tell you that so far in nitrogen they used to ask only statement questions were being asked. Chemical reactions were not asked. This type of reactions were asked very rarely. But they know very well they will concentrate in viva, this and that. So they never touch it. But there are many questions were asked from phosphorus. Now since phosphorus is deleted, the whole phosphorus is deleted from CBSE point of view. Now they may concentrate on this. Keep that in mind. Next ammonia users, you can see ammonia plays a very important role in the preparation of fertilizers, ammonium fertilizers. Then why does ammonia and other users you can learn? Why does ammonia act as a Lewis base? Because it has a lone pair which can be easily donated. Lewis base, electron donor, Lewis acid, electron acceptor. Since it has a lone pair which can be easily donated, so it acts as a Lewis base. Mention the conditions required to maximize the yield of ammonia. Now I told 700 Kelvin, 200 atmosphere, and potassium oxide and aluminum oxide are acting as a catalyst. Therefore, these are the things being added to make the reaction to get a better yield. Why does ammonia react? How does ammonia react with the solution of copper? We have seen tetramine copper 2 ion is being formed, which is formed as a blue color solution. When I talk about oxides of nitrogen, preparation part is, you need not worry about preparation part is not there. You have only the structure part. Structure often asked. NO, N2O, NO2, N2O3, N2O4, N2O5. This we are talking about. How? Let us see nitrogen. How to form. You need not by heart is also. Certain things. You have to concentrate more on this because there is some change in this state. But this is very easy to draw. If I take nitrogen, oxygen, this is the only capacity. There are two elements. This is the only way they can be arranged. And then if I talk nitrogen atomic number is 7, electronic configuration to come up 5. I'm typing 5 alone because that is a Lewis dot structure. This I will write 6. Understand? Why we are writing the Lewis dot structure in order to attain the octet structure. That's the reason. So what happens? Nitrogen, it can donate 2 electrons. It can share. Understand? But now you might have understood, because last year itself you might have understood that Lewis only first put forward the theory why the compound is being formed, why they are not in the form of element itself, why they are forming compounds, because they want to attain the octet structure. So they are trying to, why they are not combined with other, why certain elements combine only with certain elements to form the compound. Why? Because when they combine with that element only, they can attain the octet structure. That is the reason. So only they form the compound. That was the information was given. Later they found out that there were compounds are there which do not follow Lewis dot structure. Still the compound is said to be stable. Still there is a formation of compound that could not be explained by Lewis theory. Later only the theory was developed and we had different theories. The same thing you have to keep in mind. Here odd electron. Nitrogen has not attained the octet structure. This is one structure. The other structure is. Sorry. You have to write the resonance plating structure too. And this electron comes over here. This is the resonating structure of. This is the resonating structure of NO, nitric oxide. This oxidation state of nitrogen is +2. Clear? Clear. This is this.
Ma'am,
This nitrogen 5 electron. Yes, ma?
can you repeat that lone pair structure? The resonance.
Pardon, ma?
Can you repeat that resonance one, ma'am? The
Resonating
nitrogen.
structure. Yes, yes. Here, resonating structure. What you I tell we Lewis dot structure only we are writing. Nitrogen atomic number is 7, electronic constant 2,5. I write 5. Oxygen 8, 2,6. I write 6. Actually, in the Lewis dot structure, you have to get the octet structure. So the octet structure is being attained by donating 2 electrons. This is one structure. Then there is a resonating structure. Why? This electron are movable. This one electron move over here. Therefore, N. Here also no octet structure. Here also no octet structure. Still the molecule is stable. Still it is stable. Shall I pass on? Understood?
Yes,
You need not by heart it. Understand and do it. That's enough. Next, I'm rubbing off. Next, when I talk about N2O. N2O, you might think that when we write down the Lewis dot structure, the single atom will be at the center, like the other atom will be on either side. Like very probably you would have told. If it is 3 means which is the atom is at the one atom is put it at the center, the other atom on the either side. But here it is not like that. But Lewis dot structure, it is not arrived based on the structure. It is obtained by trial and error method only. They have arrived. They put it in such a way that in which case they attain octet structure. That way only Lewis dot structure has been arrived. Later only VBT theory came and we know the structure. Based on the structure, we put the Lewis structure and try to make the work easier. But when Lewis decided the structure, he did it only by trial and error method. That you have to name it NNO. Nitrogen is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I am attaining this octet structure by here. So nitrogen has attained the octet structure. Then how am I to get? Here, minimum 1 electron can need this. Let me do this. Then at least minimum 1 electron. Minimum 1 electron is required for that. But here, this attained octet structure, but this has not attained the octet structure. But this nitrogen has attained 2, 4, 6, 8. This nitrogen has attained, but this has not attained. But by providing this 2 electron here, but both can attain. Now all atoms can attain octet structure. Now see, 1. This is of nitrogen electrons. This electron is shifted over here. 2, 4, 6, 8. No, 2, 4, 6, 8. This is donated here, sorry. Nitrogen. Now all have attained octet structure. So my structure is N double bond O N. Here 2 lone pair, here no lone pair, here 2 lone pair. When oxygen forms the bond, mostly oxygen forms a double bond with 2 lone pair. Nitrogen forms 3 bonds with 1 lone pair. But here 2 lone pairs. So excess electron it has. So it carries a negative charge, this carries a positive charge. If you are drawing this way, you have to put the charge. If you are putting the electron, you need not write any charge. It is understood. Because excess electron is there, it is understood. So charge is already written. You need not put the charge. If you are writing this way, you have to put the charge. To tell that electron is there. If you are not writing this way, you need not put the charge. It's understood. Now, then what is another resonating structure? I can bring this pair over here and 1 pair to this way. So what will happen? N, 1 lone pair, then this will be here. And I'm shifting here. When I shift here, then I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what will happen? N, triple bond N, single bond 1. Now understood, nitrogen cannot have 4 bonds. Nitrogen is having 4 bonds, it should be carrying a positive charge. Then oxygen will have a negative. Because excess electron it goes. As such, the molecule is neutral. But these are called as a formal charges. When you might last year you might have studied. These are formal charges. When you calculate the formal charges, you will get plus and minus. But you need not represent the charges because we are showing the charges in terms of electrons. You may not draw. But when you are doing like this, we have to do the formal charges. Otherwise, you don't need. Likewise, we write on the electrons. Understand and do it. You will get a better idea. Shall I pass on? Shall I rub it up? Shall I rub it off?
Ma'am?
Yes, shall I rub it off?
Ma'am, in the third resonating structure, oxygen will have...
Not three, ma. We have only two.
Okay, or the second, last one. Oxygen has how many electrons around it, ma'am? Like, it's blurred,
Oxygen
ma'am.
has
How many electrons around it,
8
ma'am?
electrons, ma. This is common, no? 6 are there, 2, 4, 6. Already it was 4. One pair of electrons get shifted. When one pair this side comes, this another pair gets shifted this way.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is, you have 2, 4, 6, 8. This is common.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
This is common. Shall I rub it off?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm going for NO2. NO2. Nitrogen at center, OO. Nitrogen 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 5 I write 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 2 are donated to form a bond. These are shared, common for both. This also donates. Here, no, here 1, it donates only 1. 5, it donates only 1. Here it donates 1 form cell. Understand? But 2, 4, 6, 8. Nitrogen has attained, this oxygen has attained, but this has not attained the octet structure. So to attain this octet structure, what happens? This electron is being shifted over here. This electron is shifted over here. So now both the oxygens attain the octet structure, my nitrogen doesn't attain the octet structure. 2, 4, 6. That is the speciality of this molecule. Since it has not attained the octet structure, it readily combines one more molecule of NO2 to form N2O4. N2O4. So only N2O4 is nothing but dimer of NO2. Why NO2 dimerizes very fast? Because of an odd electron present on nitrogen. Because of the odd electron present on nitrogen, to attain the octet structure, it readily combines with one more NO2 form, N2O4. This is the often asked question, why NO2 dimerize? Because of the odd electron present on nitrogen, it wanted to, in order to attain the octet structure, it combines with one more NO2 to form N2O4. Then what is the resonating structure of this NO2? This is one odd electron now. Therefore, what happens? Double bond. Okay. Actually, I have to write down like this way. Yes, double bond with single bond. So if I write double bond with single bond with odd electron, then if I write this side, I put it. So this will become double bond and single bond. Single bond, therefore one order. This is the resonating structure of NO2. Because of the presence of odd electron, it dimerizes, immediately dimerizes to form N2O4. Shall I pass on? I'm wrapping up. Next is N2O3. N2O3, you can do it. N2O3, yes. N, double bond O, single bond O, double bond O. If you balance it, it comes over because nitrogen, they form the double bond. Here octet structure is there, here octet structure is not there. But it's a neutral molecule because I told when 4 means plus, single bond means minus, the molecule becomes stable. So a single bond means you'd have 3 electrons. Here 2 bonds, 2 electrons, 2 pair. Here nitrogen does not have a lone pair, but here nitrogen has a lone pair. When you draw these resonating structures, you have to draw with a lone pair. Please do that. Then, what is the resonating structure? The resonating structure is what happened. This kills like this way, this comes here. So what happened? N, double bond O, single bond N, this is the way we draw it. Draw with the lone pair. This is the resonating structure of N2O3. If I talk about N2O4, N2O4, it's very simple. N, double bond O, single bond O, double bond O, single bond O. Then what is the resonating structure? Then here one side only you can take, not both sides. Therefore, N, double bond O, single bond O, single, N, single bond O, double bond O. Then you have to draw. One single bond is 3 lone pairs, double bond is 2 lone pairs, 4 bonds, so no lone pair. Here also 4 bond, no lone pair. Here 2 lone pair, here 3 lone pair. This is the way we write out the rest of the structures. If it is N2O5, then N2O5 means I add O here. Molecule remains the same. O means it has a 2 lone pair. That's all. These are the ways we write down the electronic structure. Mostly electronic resonating structure is mostly asked for this because there is a possibility of getting confused here only. There is no odd electron, they are very easy. So people concentrate only on this. So have a look on that. Why does NO2 dimerase? I told very clearly NO2 dimerase is because of the presence of odd electron present in it. That odd electron, that nitrogen wants to get octet structure. So they combine with one more NO2. So only it always exists as a dimer. What is the covalence of nitrogen? Covalence is nothing but number of bonds present around that atom that you study in your coordination chemistry. Covalency. What is covalency? Number of bonds the molecule makes. We might have a maximum covalency of nitrogen is 4. Why? Because it can form only 4 bonds. Covalency is the number of bonds the atom makes. That is called as covalency. I can say covalency of N2O5 they are asking. Covalency of nitrogen in N2O5. What is that? Around how many bonds are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So covalency is 4. Here also 4. If I talk about, I will give you the question. If I talk N2O, how will you draw the structure? This is the way. R, N, double bond, N, double bond. Here the question is not being asked. Why? Because depending upon the resonating structure, covalency of nitrogen varies. Here nitrogen covalency of this nitrogen is 4. Here it is 3. Here covalency of this nitrogen is 2. Here it is 4. They will specifically ask if they are asking. In that molecule, in N2O5, in whichever the resonating structure, whatever the resonating structure, there are 2 resonating structures. In both the resonating structure, covalency of nitrogen is 4 only. The bond around nitrogen is not being affected. So they simply ask the question, what is the covalency of nitrogen in N2O5? But here and there they are asking is, they specifically give the structure and ask. What is it? Here covalency is 3, here covalency is 4, here covalency is 2, here covalency is 2. Covalency is nothing but number of bonds the atom makes. Next is 8.5. Okay, ma. Now let me continue with the nitric acid in my next class because you might be also having classes. I am winding up the class. If you have any doubt, you can check. You can ask your doubt and leave it. Nitric acid alone is there, ma. Nitric acid and uses of nitric acid only is there in 15 group. All phosphorus part and everything that is given comes behind after uses of nitric acid. The whole phosphorus till oxyacids of phosphorus, the whole phosphorus is being deleted as per Svedis. Many important questions are they are deleting it. So I will tell you that concentrate more on nitrogen compared to last year. Nitrogen mostly statement questions only are asked. Now the questions may be asked in any form. So concentrate on that. Then I most probably I will completing your 15th group on Wednesday. Then I will start with coordination compounds. Ma, one thing, clarify me, have you completed chemical kinetics solution chapter?
We are doing, ma'am, chemical kind.
Chemical kinetics you are doing, solution is over.
Yes, ma'am.
So now the only chapter is like surface chemistry. Did I complete surface chemistry? I was not having in my mind.
No, ma'am.
So now what are the chapters left over? Coordination compounds and surface chemistry.
Yes, ma'am. Solid
Then
state also.
solid state. Hey, solid state haven't we completed solid state?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I thought that I have completed. Okay. Now solid state, surface chemistry, and coordination compounds are there. 3.
Yes, and D and F block, ma'am.
DNF block. I didn't complete DNF. Yes, okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. DNF, coordination compounds, solid state, surface chemistry.
Surface chemistry, 4 chapters.
4 chapters are there. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Most I will be completing. Now it is July, August, September, October. By October I will complete. Don't worry. Okay. Okay, ma'am, we shall wind up the class. Wednesday, I need only 10 to 15 minutes for this to complete nitric acid. So I will go with the D block elements. Or which part you people are doing exam is, let me do solid state, or we shall go complete D block and coordination compounds, then come for surface chemistry. Surface chemistry is a simple chapter only. We can do it. Which one you prefer? Tell me.
Ma'am, coordination compounds, ma'am.
Okay, then I am going for coordination compounds, then I will go coordination compound. Ma, without taking D block, we cannot go for coordination compound, ma.
Okay, then D block.
D and F we shall do it. D and F very less is there. F block is there, completely removed. Only we have D block. That way we can. Similarly, the same statements what you are studying, like this way, the same statement comes. We shall do it. Okay, we shall go for D and F, then we shall go for coordination, then come back. Okay, ma.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma. Okay, ma. We shall wind up the class. Take care. We shall meet on Wednesday. Okay, ma.